What are you doing? What are you doing?
Take the fucking photo. Let's do it.
I'm videoing you. You look horrible.
What's that delivering?
I can't see the lamb. Wow. Oh my God, look at those potatoes. Wow. That's great.
Once you go into on Sunday,
What do you think of Des?
Pardon?
What do you think of Des, really?
What do I think of it?
Yeah.
Well,
What do you think of Des, Barry?
he's fucking awesome.
well, you know, I was in school with him in 1945, so I've known him a few years.
1945?
Yes. I turned up.
What do you think of Desmond, really?
Excuse me, what do I think
What
of
do you
him?
think of him, yeah?
He's a bloody dog.
No one said anything nice.
Hello, we call
What do you think? Yes, what do you think of Desmond?
Desmond?
Yes.
Him? You're talking about this, not Tutu?
No, Desmond. No one said anything nice about him yet.
Wait, you should ask him that question.
What do you think of Des?
What do you think of Desmond?
Desmond is a real draw.
Oh dear.
Yes, my dear.
It's Des Retief's 80th birthday today. What do you think of your best friend?
My best friend, I've known him for 46 years, right? And he hasn't changed one bit. Thank goodness.
Has he matured with age?
We were born mature. We're men. We're not.
What do you really think? But come on, Barry, this is boring. This is not going to make the film.
Listen, do you want to? I can't tell you all the things we got up to because the wife's here, and my good mate Jim was.
Look at this.
He
This
was
is
the party.
for Des.
You better check this. Check this.
Yeah.
Linda, just get my cigarette
Yeah.
lighter.
Okay, since I've met Des through
Yes.
Barry, I think he's just an absolute sweetheart. But the first time I met him, he came up and said, I suppose the porn sound the question.
No, he didn't. He
What
said,
did
"Would you like a cup of coffee?"
Oh, that's right.
No. Would you like a beer? No. Would you like a glass of wine? No. So you see what I suppose it pumps out the question then.
What do you think of your friend Des?
I try not to think of it.
This is more like it. This is honesty.
JD lays awake at night wondering how he survived Cape Town.
And what do you think of Desmond?
I know Des through Jim, and he's a great guy.
Oh dear, that's lies. No, that's lies. No.
I know him for years.
No, sorry.
Des, you're one of the best friends I've ever had for over 40 years. You're not a dog. You're the greatest guy I ever know.
Barry's going to say
There's nothing we haven't heard before.
Oh, salute.
Oh, salute to Des.
So Des, why are you frightened to go and...
Because I know you're going to talk a lot of cuck.
Des, I'm your mate, I wouldn't talk cuck about you. Wayne's your mate, he wouldn't talk cuck about you.
Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip!
What's up? Piss on that thing.
Give it a blow.
Where's that blow?
Worship on the blowjob.
Still exactly the same as when he was 13. He hasn't grown up.
He's still full of shit.
And I was riding my bicycle, looking around, and then I see this guy behind me, and on a bicycle, and he's swearing at me. They chased me around the block, and then I lost them. And then when I got back to my place, they were standing at the gate. 3 of them, they wanted to bugger me up, and I had no idea why. And from that day, we became friends. That was in 1950.
Upon an unsuspecting society. I've known Des for quite some time now, and I want to say a few words about him. Des is a lot of things, but one thing he's not, he's a good fishing teacher. Des took me to the cliff angling off the rocks at Arniston. I remember clearly what happened. We got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, fuck knows why, Des, and we headed out on his yellow beach buggy, listening to the Beach Boys. Remember that? And Des drove like Schumacher. You guys know Schumacher? And that also happened to be the name of his ginger cat. And I said to him, why, Des? Why do you call him Schumacher? And he said, because he sits just here. So I'm Jewish and I'm not used to sports like that. I'm only used to internet banking and lawsuits because I'm a lawyer. And I have only ever fished as a young boy with like nylon and a slug, you know, and that sort of thing. But Des had to show me the rod and all this gadgetry. So he tried to teach me, and he's a really good teacher. And the lesson consisted of, okay, so this is how you fish. Big stop. That was the whole fucking lesson. There's nothing else. So then I cast the net out and I reeled it in, and straight away it was as he would say, a bugger-upski. And he said to me, you made a bird's nest. So that was the end of the fishing. I said, all right, bro, you're such a good fisherman. You fish. Let's see what the fuck you catch. And he throws his net out. He casts this thing out, and he gets like 2 fish in close succession, like these 2 huge, massive fish. And they were huge. They were like even much bigger than that coloured woman's arse in Cassie's bar. You know the one you got that love child with? Remember that one? The one that actually didn't that cool.
Hey, you the sister.
I remember you told me you named your son Des Jr. But then you had to move her to Mitchell's Plain because somehow you think you still got a reputation there in Cassie's bar. So Des is also a very accomplished driver and a hotshot mechanic, and he wanted to show off to me and Chrissie all his off-road driving skills at Arniston. So anyway, he took us on this off-road drive in his beach buggy, and he was putting on a mur of a heavy foot there, and he was flying around hard shoulders. He was careering down cliff faces of pure white sand. He was navigating around S-bends, and he was keeping pole position with all the other drivers, well, at least in his imagination this was happening. So then all of a sudden the yellow buggy with his 50cc buzz bike engine splatters and coughs and cuts out there in the sand. And all Des has to say is, oh shit. And then he tried to restart the engine and it didn't work, and he was like dancing around here and there around the bucket, around the beach buggy, and he was like a grease monkey on Sparletta. And then he fiddled and he faffed and he tried to start the engine, but the engine was dead. It was more dead than apartheid was. And when an engine's dead and apartheid's dead, Des is fucking unhappy. So then he called Magda. Where's Magda? Where is she? Okay, Magda, you remember that telephone call you got? So she got the telephone call, and you know, Magda said she's busy with a bird collection and Des must sort himself out. Jeez, Magda, what a bitch, eh? So there we were, stuck in the middle of the sunbaked Arniston off-road outback hell with a shit and helpless mechanic and no one in sight. And we only had one bottle of water between 3 of us. Actually, only between 2 of us, because he doesn't drink water, because the fish pumping water. And we know, and he never had any beer with him, because we know Des never drinks and drives. Never. So we were finished, we were doomed. And in my head, I was making a will, and then I went on a walkabout, and I realized we were so far away from the Arniston civilization. We were about 100 meters away. So I said to Des, you flooded the engine, you puss, give it a few minutes. Which he did. And then me and Chrissie, we gave it one huge push start, and in reverse gear up this down this 2-degree incline, and Chrissie fell over flat in her face, and her uterus fell out, and she fell on her uterus. But then the yellow beast was alive and we were safe. So Des also has got this favorite restaurant in Cassie's Bar. You guys know about this restaurant? And it's just around the corner from where the mother of his love child lives. Des, you remember that? So the thing at this restaurant was this, you know, Des always used to have these words for Chrissie, you know, and I realized at this restaurant that night that these words and the spell were finally broken, because every time he sees Chrissie, he goes like, "Ugh, ugh, you sexy it up, you sexy beast." And I realize, and then he goes like, "You angel, you sexy it up, angel." But in this restaurant in Cassiesburg, you know, which is just around the corner from the love child of his mother, at least the mother of his love child, Des Retief Jr., he went to this waitress and, you know, was thinking like, okay, he's calling her all these special words, sexy beast, you're sexing it up. And he goes to the waitress and goes, "Hey, sexy beast, you're sexing it up." You bossed him and you let her on for so many years, bro. How can you do that?
It's true, Des. I'm
You know,
broken.
you broke her heart, man. So you're a two-timing cuck fisherman, cuck yellow buggy beach driver, and a shit mechanic. Okay. Now, in Des's mind, Magda is the dragon, right? You've heard that all before, the dragon? Now, I've always wondered why he calls her the dragon. So, you know, I couldn't find any logical reason. There's no play on words, there's no irony, there's nothing. Except I worked out all it is this weird endangered species language and it's called Des Retief. Now, Des Retief is the dying language, right? And when Des passes on, which might be before midnight, this language is going to be extinct. It's going to be dead like Wit Wolf or P.W. Botha, which both things make Des very sad about. But there's a chance we can save this language for the next generation. And I've been studying it part-time, so I can pass it down to children that I don't have. So what I'll do is this, I'll show you what I've learned. I'll give you the sentence first in Des Retief, and then I'm going to translate it into English. Okay. So the factor was when I did a bugger-upski and had a 70 on Batman. The mouthpiece also wanted a 70 on the factor, but it was all for the worst. Batman said to the mouthpiece, "What took you so long?" Okay, so you don't know what the fuck that means. No one knows what the hell this means. But what it actually does mean, if you translate it, is the black man was messing me around when he made a huge mess and performed mutual oral sex +1 on Des's former employee, strangely called Batman. The lawyer then also wanted mutual oral sex +1, but it became a bigger mess. Des's former employee Batman then said to the lawyer, "Oh, you big boy lawyer, I've been waiting for you to do that for me for hours." Alright, so if you can say that that actually meant what he said before, I don't know. Anyway, alright Des, this party's about you, not about me. You're a great guy. You've shown me and Chrissie some great hospitality in Honeston. And yeah, you've lived this long, but you're a good guy and you've always been a good neighbor and always know when I come
And we
home,
love
and
you.
you're there
We
with her.
love you.
It's always going to be beer out and you're having a good time and you're a lekker oak. You've got a good heart.
Time to come out the closet when you're 80.
I didn't hear you complaining, Dixon.
Well, I'm complaining, no, you never invited me.
He's a jolly good fella. Come on, let's sing.
What about you saying something to all of these people that's given up their Saturday evening to come and spend it with you? Is it just
They could have done something else. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming around.
Love you. Cheers, Des. Des will be here when you're 90.
Oh, God, what are we going to do then?
I don't know.
Actually, 10 years back was even better.
Well,
Yeah, then you went to heaven, eh?
I don't know. Ask him.
Hey, don't drag me into it.